What's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. So something you were talking about the other guy. I was hoping to chime in when we were talking to him. Is that you don't think women are using abortion as a contraceptive,
Correct.
right? But you state in the first topic line here is abortion legal without a restriction. So you feel as though that
Correct.
should be available,
I feel there should be no laws regarding abortion.
but you're okay with it being used as a form of contraceptive.
Well, I mean, to say that abortion could be a contraceptive is kind of saying like a bachelor could be married. It just doesn't make sense because contraceptive is designed to prevent pregnancy, where abortion is designed to terminate pregnancy. So an abortion can't be a contraceptive.
But you're okay with it using just as a contraceptive, even though the wording might be different.
I just explained that. It can't be used as a contraceptive. But no, I don't care if someone has an abortion.
As a contraceptive.
Again, it's not designed to prevent pregnancy. It's designed to terminate pregnancy.
Okay, design, prevent. I mean, but you're okay with it. Girl doesn't want a baby, just regardless for whatever reason, without restriction up to 9 months. You're okay with that.
Can you define abortion for me?
Yeah, unaliving a baby.
That is incorrect.
Oh, give me the definition then. Ooh.
So if we look at this
The forceful
most,
termination of a, go on.
so if we look at the most medical derived definition, an abortion would be essentially a deliberate termination of pregnancy that typically results in the death of the fetus 28 weeks and prior. So you can't apply the term abortion to the third trimester.
In Illinois, and they do that, but so you're okay with 28 weeks and before, but
Yes.
nothing after, for whatever reason.
If there needs to be a termination of pregnancy, I don't see why there can't be, but I don't think it needs to result in the death of the fetus. Again, it would
So,
depend on the circumstance.
so without restriction means beyond 28 weeks, would it not?
So, do you think if I went to a doctor and said, Doc, will you cut off my arm, that they would do it?
Probably not.
Great. So, when we look at someone who wants to have a termination later in pregnancy, I would argue that number one, a termination, someone who is quote unquote seeking an abortion, the express purpose of that is to terminate pregnancy. And if you've made it to the third trimester, I would argue that women who have made it that far have planned to carry the pregnancy to term, and something has gone wrong.
But
In the
that's
event
not
that
without restriction, though. So there
correct.
are some.
I don't see any pragmatic reason to have laws governing medical decisions.
Well, that and whether you're saying without restriction. So
Without
you're actually
restriction means without laws.
without law. So that would be restrictions.
Correct. I don't know how more clear I can make this for you. I don't see any necessary purpose for legislation regarding abortion.
Okay. But without restriction, that regardless of law or not, but legal without restriction. That's what I'm really focusing on there.
I feel I've explained my position well to make it very specific. My position is that it should be legal and that there should be no laws regulating it.
So if I said, hey, you know what, third trimester, you probably shouldn't have one without life of the mother issues or something like that. That shouldn't be a law.
What?
Because you keep on saying, well, and you're not saying it. Your tagline here, or what it's saying in the screen here, is that legal without restriction. So, regardless of what you want to say, I mean, within up to the day of birth, the day before the birth, you can have an abortion.
Again, abortion
That's
is
without
defined as
restriction. I don't.
something that is 28 weeks and prior. If you want to talk about deliberate termination of pregnancy, if someone would like their pregnancy terminated in the third trimester, I think they should have the liberty to do that, but it does not mean that it will result in the death of the fetus.
Wow. Okay. It's a little gross to me, but hey, best of you.
How is that gross?
To just willfully terminate a life, whether you call it fetus or
I
whatever, and
don't
then
know if
they're
listening
you're
is
saying
not your strong
abortion
suit.
legal without
I
restriction.
don't
That's what I'm
know if
getting at.
listening
Without restriction.
isn't your strong suit, but I literally just
No,
said
apparently not.
she can have a deliberate termination of pregnancy and the fetus
Uh-huh.
can survive. You realize that birth is a termination of pregnancy, correct?
Wow, that's what you define that as.
Termination just means end.
I think that's a completion of a pregnancy, not a termination
Termination
of it.
just means end.
Uh-huh. So you want to use word choice as the no.
I'm being
So
very specific in my language.
mhm. Okay, that's fine. I mean, up to 9 months, up to the day before the birth, so long as you whatever, it's cool, right?
You're straw manning me, and it's very annoying how deliberate it is.
I'm being pretty precise what I'm saying, not straw manning.
You're not. You are straw manning me. You are not listening to my analysis and what I'm actually saying to you. You're
Mm-hmm.
just regurgitating what you think I'm saying.
Regurgitating. Okay. Well, go on.
Go on, what?
So, explain to me how the day before birth and ending a pregnancy, as opposed to actually completing the pregnancy, is not
Again,
without
birth
restriction,
birth is the end of pregnancy.
but not the termination of.
Define termination.
Well, you got terminating line. I mean, you can word vomit shit all you want. I'm sorry for my language. Sorry. You can word vomit all you want about what definitions of words are. But the thing is, what this says in the beginning, abortion legal without restriction. That right there. That's the
It's
issue.
interesting to me how hung up you're getting on my semantics. And then when I use very precise language, you criticize my semantics. So
Okay.
when I say legal without restriction, again, I don't know if you would like to write this down so that it might be easier for you to understand in the context of the debate that we are having.
Well,
It
I'll
means
give
that there should be no laws
I just
regarding abortion. That's
it was supposed to end. What is that called?
so again, if you would like to define termination, the number one definition of termination is the action of bringing something or coming to an end. So termination means end. It is the end of pregnancy, which birth can fall under that definition. So
So
again,
it's somebody's life, right? I can walk up to somebody and
what is the express
terminate.
purpose of an abortion?
Sorry,
What is the expressed purpose of an abortion?
go on, tell me.
I'm asking you. I'm asking
I'm
you a
asking.
question.
I'm
I
not.
would like you to
I'm
answer it.
asking you. I want to know what
I
your
just
definition
asked you a question. I've answered a lot of your questions. I'm asking you, what is the express purpose of an abortion?
to end a pregnancy.
Great.
Okay.
So, in the third trimester, why do you think someone would want to end a pregnancy in the third trimester?
I don't know, but without restrictions, I mean,
Maybe you should
everybody.
take a minute and think about that for a little bit.
Well, I've thought about it, and the thing is, if you have the choice just
You
to do it
just
for
said,
whatever
I don't
reason,
know, literally 10 seconds ago.
okay, I'm
So,
allowed to
which
say
is it? You have thought about it or you don't know?
I have thought about it. I'm not saying I
Okay,
know
great.
everything,
So, why would someone want a termination of pregnancy in the third trimester?
but under your idealism, it should be for whatever reason, without restriction.
No laws, no laws. So, if we're going to talk about why someone has a termination in the third trimester, you yourself has said the express purpose of an abortion is to terminate pregnancy. So, if
Mhm.
a patient wants to terminate that pregnancy, we can complete that. It doesn't necessarily mean that the baby or fetus has to die. I don't know what you don't get about that.
So an abortion is a early C-section to make sure that doesn't happen.
Again, it would depend on how you would like to define abortion. If you would like to do it based on the actual procedures that are completed, that could be the abortion pill, that could be a D&E, and that could be a D&C, which are all done prior to the 28th week. Those types of procedures aren't done in the third trimester.
Well, the fact that they're allowed to is the gross part, which I said before.
Again, those are not done in the third trimester. You have medical knowledge, you're dumb.